Hello everyone, welcome to the new video. I'm really glad to have you here today. This story has more details, but I'll start here. We were driving where Jeep collided with an oncoming car and started spinning uncontrollably and sliding on the ice. This impact threw our car to the side of the mountain, and at that moment I was out of my body. In this out-of-body state, I saw bitter moments of my life. In particular, I was shown three very strange and seemingly different things. First, I was shown that although I had seen the sunrise over the horizon many times, I had never really watched it. I had never felt the awe and glory of the arrival of a new day. I had never taken the time to experience the rays of light, which like fingers gently peel away the layers of darkness in the night. I had never truly witnessed the symbolic hope that a new day brings. All the space of possibility for the soul, all the grace and beauty of life. Second, I realized that I had never inhaled the earthy smell of freshly cut grass. Of course, I had felt this smell many times, but in a transient and superficial way. I had never done this with the intention of experiencing the magical moments of pleasure and attraction that it creates in my senses. For the most part, I had completely ignored my senses and just rushed about my work and my life. I was always so busy that I never stopped to smell the flowers. At that time in my life, everything was only a means to reach my goals. My life as a single mother was practical and necessary, and there was no pleasure in it. Basically, mowing the grass had to be done. Inhaling the smell or enjoying the experience on an inner level was necessary. I was always busy, and so were my other senses. In the rush and striving for daily life, seeing, smelling, listening, tasting, and touching beauty in the true sense was forgotten for me. Touching was the third thing I was shown. I had never actually touched another person with my physical body. I had two children, so I had already a husband and obviously touched someone intimately. But my call was more of a means to an end. For example, although I used to comb my children's hair to send them to school, I rarely took the time to caress their dear heads. All this and more was shown to me as our car rolled down the mountain. In that suspended moment that seemed to have stopped at the time, a huge wave of regret for the wasted and unknown moments of my life washed over me. I was also shown that many others feel the same great sadness and sense of loss when they die. For many, the value of life never fully realized until it is too late and they are on the brink of death. At the moment, I understood that every soul is here for the happiness of its existence. It was a glorious discovery, but ironic and stunning, for it was too late for me. Too late for happiness, too late for anything else. Our car went out of control on the icy mountain road and fell to the ground quickly. We fell about 7 meters, and after rolling several times, we hit a pile of ice at the bottom and finally stopped. Everything was in slow motion, and I resigned myself to imminent death. I closed my eyes and disappeared into a blur of darkness and bursts of light. But I was very shocked to wake up in my body again, and I was very happy to be given another chance to live, but with a different perspective this time. Instead of just being alive, I will really live. After the accident, there was a subtle but significant change in my speech and life experience. Instead of seeing life as a burden and responsibility where I have to take care of myself and take care of my children and others, I realized that all of these are opportunities and gifts. the opportunity to be responsible, to be good mother to others, to take or smell the flowers and enjoy the smell of freshly cut grass, the opportunity to experience the joy and pain of life, and that nothing was imposed on me, but that we all chose to be here on our own level. I was also shown the possibility of choosing multiple destinies, in one of which I would die, and in others my life would be affected by the accident, as well as the one I have now chosen, to return and be a force for good. Because I chose and I can have this opportunity, this small change in my perspective changed everything for me. In addition, I was no longer afraid of death. I knew experientially that what comes after our death is good, abundant, and lovely. In an instant, my perspective changed forever. Now, instead of fearing death, it was time to really enjoy my life. Time to live a meaningful life, to listen to the deep desires of my soul and to serve others, to serve you. It was time to change the direction of my life. Instead of running away from death, I now pursue a life of purpose, love, and opportunity to serve others. None of the above changes were necessarily hard, but they weren't easy either. The negative spiral of fear is heavy and weighs heavily on this planet. I needed to renew my commitment every day to live more alive, awake, and purposefully. To this day, almost 30 years later, I still have to purposefully choose each day to see the goodness and God in everything. This is a constant practice of remembering. To purposefully remember every day who I really am, beyond body, mind, intellect, and emotions. To remember that we are not defined by the transitory circumstances of a human life. To connect with a greater part of me that is immutable and eternal. To choose love instead of fear. All of the aforementioned changes in our consciousness and perception require us to accept the full responsibility for our lives, regardless of the internal or external circumstances that exist. Choosing love means reclaiming one's inherent right and power and aligning with God's goodness and grace. As we understand the full impact and consequence of our choices, we discover our natural power and open the door to more previously unavailable opportunities and unimaginable worlds. This requires that we refrain from living automatically and stereotypically, and from ceding our power to the outside world, and most importantly, not to see ourselves as victims of external conditions and factors. My life was forever changed as a result of this devastating car accident that brought me to the precipice of my life in this body, and face to face with God. I was also shown many facts and given the freedom to choose. Like I said, I could have left this world, but I didn't. I came back to be a lighthouse, a beacon of hope, be a candle in the night for all and for anyone who has eyes to see and ears to hear. I'm back on a mission of love. As we spiraled out of control on that mountain road, a being of light told me to tell the world that love is all that matters. I was shown that I would write a book and share the message of unconditional love with the world. I was also shown that sound of light were the future of medicine and told to include that in the book. This entire experience was both very beautiful and very surprising. At that time in my life, I still couldn't fully grasp the magnitude of this message or how to share it. I certainly didn't feel worthy or ready to be the conduit and mouthpiece of the love beyond the imagination that enveloped me in this light and grace. Before I could fully internalize and share this message of unconditional love, I first had to heal the wounds of my childhood. It took a lot of time, patience, and determination to take a strong step and tell the world that love is the only thing that matters. If I had to sum up what I've learned in the last 20 years in one sentence, it would simply be the purpose of life is to love.